show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Oh, flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, even stress. So yes, let the music soothe the soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. What we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the Traffic Avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the Traffic Avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
95, 96, 97.3 Citi FM. It doesn't get any better than that.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from our studios here in Accra. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou, and coming up over the next 90 minutes, Parliament passes anti-LGBTQI bill after a heated debate in the Chamber of Parliament, and that happened moments ago. Let me give you a flavor of what transpired.
The Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2025 is duly read for the third time and passed.
We'll be hearing everything that transpired in the chamber today and what this bill means. After years of debate, it successfully goes through the chamber for the second time. Don't forget, this is not the first time the House of Parliament is passing this particular anti-LGBTQI bill. Also, coming up, Mpraiso Member of Parliament Davis Ansah Opoku begins gathering signatures to demand the non-renewal of the lease of South African-owned Goldfields Mining Company Limited following xenophobic attacks. We'll be hearing from him. And later on Eyewitness News, Dr. Papakwesi Ndom poised to kickstart the operation of GN Savings and Loans despite an action mounted by the BOG over the recent Court of Appeal decision. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou here tonight with Fafa Melody Kpotufe, who brings us also the latest headlines in the world of business. Fafa.
Well, in business, Insurers Association pushes for enforcement of mandatory marine insurance to reduce trade risk.
So that's from the City Business Desk, and it will be happening in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on our website, citynewsroom.com, around the globe on citynewsroom.com. A number of radio stations across Ghana are bringing you this particular broadcast, and we're on YouTube. Let me know what you make of the stories. 0539 986 996, 0539 986 996. Send messages on Twitter, now known as X, using the handle at Umaru Sanda or at City973. We start off from the House of Parliament. It's a bill with a very long title, but the short form, as everybody refers to it as, is the anti-LGBTQI bill or the anti-gay bill. For the second time, the House of Parliament is passing that particular bill. Nik Amarteifio is our parliamentary affairs correspondent, and he was observing keenly, like an eagle, from the press gallery in the House of Parliament. He's joined me on the line. Nik, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Sanda.
So this started yesterday, didn't it?
Exactly. So this legislation started yesterday, and then today, that was the second reading of the bill started yesterday, where we witnessed debate on the floor of Parliament. Precisely from the minority, this particular legislation has been altered. It has been watered down because that wasn't the kind of legislation that was presented for the former President Akufo-Addo to sign. So that argument began from yesterday, and today the clause-by-clause amendments at the consideration stage started over, and then also from there we had the clause 9 section of the legislation. That was where the bone of contention was for today. The minority believes that some amendments that have been proposed for consideration by the House are not supposed to be considered in this particular legislation. Part of the proposed amendments are that the provision of legal advice or legal representation, people who offer legal advice or legal representation for individuals who identify as members of the LGBT community, should be exempted from any sanctions that could be offered under this particular legislation. More so, the argument or the proposal that was also made was that submissions or representations made to a court, tribunal, parliament, commission of inquiry, or a body exercising judicial or quasi-judicial functions must be exempted. More so, the publication of an academic, scientific, or medical opinion, there should be an exemption of sanctions for such people who offer the publication of an academic, scientific, or medical opinion related to LGBT issues. When it comes to clause D, D of the D section of clause 9, you also have the dissemination of information by governmental body, non-governmental organization, and then development partner or other body engaged in the delivery of health services or health-related programs. So if there are any matters relating to LGBT within these categories, there should be an exemption of sanctions related to these issues. And then key among them is also the provision of medical, surgical, psychological, or counseling services in accordance with accepted professional practice. If it has to do with being offered to LGBT members, there should be the exemption of sanctions. And then also for media, when it comes to the media reporting on news or current affairs, on issues relating to LGBT, the proposed amendment is that there should be the exemption of sanctions in this regard. But the minority opposed strongly to these proposed amendments because they feel that if all these amendments are considered, then it weighs down the main focus for which this legislation was presented to the House. They believe that it should have just been presented in its form as we had it in the 8th Parliament for President John Mahama to sign, for which reason the co-sponsor of the bill, Reverend John Ntimfodjo, and then Nana Asafo, a JIMP for Bosome Freho, raised strong objections on the floor. Earlier, we didn't have the minority leader available in the House, but subsequently he joined in and then also forcefully argued that indeed this isn't the bill that was presented to former President Akufo-Addo to sign. Hence, they believe that the NDC side of the House has not been faithful or has not been honest to Ghanaians in this regard. So that has been the argument on the floor. Despite these strong oppositions that were raised by the minority regarding the anti-LGBT bill on the floor, the House went ahead to pass it. We had about 19 clauses that were considered today, and all that amendments have been proposed. With the majority having their numbers, they were able to pass this legislation. And we had the co-sponsor, Reverend John Ntimfodjo, addressing journalists, where he actually accused the NBC of engaging some foreign countries who proposed that these clauses should be introduced to offer exemptions for these, entities that have been listed earlier. Sanda.
Thank you so much. Nik Amarteifio is our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. Let's remain in the House of Parliament and speak to the Member of Parliament for Asin South. He was a Minister Deputy for Education in the Akufo-Addo administration. He's Irreverend John Ntim Fojo is his name. He's Member of Parliament. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you very much, Omaro.
You were part of the 8 MPs who brought this as a private member's bill in the 8th Parliament. Well, it did not succeed in getting a presidential assent. Tonight, the House of Parliament has passed the same bill with the same name, but we are hearing that there are a few changes that you do not have or you do not particularly agree with. Can you tell us what's remarkably different about this bill from the one that you passed in 2024?
Yeah, so this, Omaro, is a complete departure from what we intended. The great people of this country, overwhelming majority of this country, what represents their aspiration. What they have passed is particularly the Section 9, completely waters everything down. It grants exception, particularly for certain categories of people, and says, and not just exception. One way of saying exception is should be put in perspective. For instance, clause 9, which in our bill we had stated that subject to the Constitution, a person shall not procure, produce, market, broadcast, disseminate, publish, or distribute through a medium, technological platform, technological account, or any other means, or film, the internet service, or electronic device, or any other device capable of storage or transmission for the purposes of promoting an act prohibited under this act. We were very clear that for the purposes of promoting. We also want to say in the subclause 2 that a person shall not promote or engage in, support, or advocate for an act prohibited under this act, or engage in, participate in, promote or support an act aimed at changing public opinion towards an act prohibited under this act. And in all these, they have gone to create an exception that says that for someone, just for the purposes of being a non-governmental institution, you are exempted from this act. But you see, that is a very act that seeks to correct the canker we have. For instance, it says that for the performance of a public health function, including HIV and AIDS prevention, testing, treatment, and care, or the provision of medical, surgical, psychological, or counseling services in accordance with accepted professional practice. Then it goes on also to say the dissemination of information by governmental body, non-governmental organizations, development partner, or other body engaged in the delivery of health services or health-related programs. These are the very areas where promotion for LGBT are age-old endemic. And these are the very reasons why in all the laws that we've been seeking to pass, the sanction for persons who are promoting and advocating are even more than the persons who are even engaged in the act itself. Then, Umaru, let me refer you that the intendment of the sponsors and in line with aspirations of the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians, we stated that, yes, there will be journalists. We anticipate that there will be journalists who will, in their lawful duty, will come across such reporting. There will be doctors who may have to treat persons and they have no, prejudice or bias whether the person is LGBT or not. The law does not in any way, criminalize them. And even went further to even propose an amendment that nothing in this act shall prevent or limit the lawful duties or functions of an institution. And therefore, and such persons and professionals, so long as they are in your lawful duty as a journalist as a medical practitioner. There's nothing. Even if you are NGO, you are a development partner, whichever institution, so long as it is lawful functions, which is not promoting, advocating for, campaigning for, this law in itself already is clear about that. But for you to go and say that in respect of such promotion and advocacy, which is the very meat and thrust of what we want to kill, the mischief we want to kill, you are granting exceptions so that the very, very dangerous, potential sponsors and advocates for such acts, which have always been underground, overtly and covertly, should be exempted. So which people are you clamping down on? Which people are you really targeting? And what mischief are you curing by this law that you have passed? We stood on our feet on the floor to draw the attention of the speaker, who was presiding then, the first deputy speaker, to ensure that they see to these things. And yet, they will not budge. They use their numbers to bulldoze it, and so whatever that has come does not represent what I consulted GPCC, I consulted the Catholic Bishop Conference, I consulted the Christian Council of Ghana and the traditional leaders, the Muslim Islamic Council, and all the relevant stakeholders. Over 93% of the population who find such practices very highly repugnant to our values. That is not what they want. And clearly, this government, if they didn't want to pass a bill, could have just simply shied away from it. But they go and pass a bill which in itself is counterproductive, which in itself exempts the very group of people who are the targets. Because you remember when we were doing the public hearing, there were confessions from some of those categories that were exempted, publicly saying that yes, they support such activities. They give lubricants, condoms, and support and devices for persons living with HIV and persons who are conducting such acts. They say that they provide those services already, in openly admitting that they promote it. What we're saying is that remove the promotion and advocacy, remove the support that makes these things attractive, remove those development partners or non-governmental organizations who have been renting premises, calling it resource centers, that for the past years we have had to resort to national security to close them down and always come to the media. But if you are now going to pass a law, and indeed you have passed it, which is exempting those very people, what you have is not any biting law. It's just something for politics. It's just something for the optics. It is a acceptance law. And that is the concern we have. And so if you give all these exemptions, which exempting for those who are to do it legally are already exempted in our provisions, then who else are you targeting? So they may go ahead and take it through all the various processes that may be taken, but it must be on record. Now, so long as Section 9 is concerned, which is the thrust of the mischief we sought to cure, which mischief could not be cured by the Criminal and Other Offences Act, which only could deal with homosexuality, and we thought that the promotion is where the problem is. If we have exempted them, then it's a counterproductive bill. So nobody should go and politicize this. It should be a disappointment to the NDC hearer, the NDC citizen, the MPP citizen, the non-partisan citizen, whose only hope was that this parliament would have passed a bill that will actually target where the canker is coming from. But they have missed that opportunity, and therefore the bill, as it is now, does not represent what we submitted.
Okay, so for you, the bill is healthy, save the inclusion of Section 9. That's the only problem you have with. Did you oppose the passage of the bill as a result, or you stood aloof, or you voted with the majority on this?
No, we stood close to 1 hour. We stood on our feet. So the decision is that we are not against the entirety of it. This is a bill I co-sponsored. I've co-sponsored it twice. So
what I mean is that when it got to it, what I'm saying is that I get it. So I'm saying that when it came to it, before the gavel landed, did you vote aye or nay?
No, because that is not the thrust of the matter here.
No, it's important. It's important. Just a second. You see.
No. I know where you are getting at.
Let me rephrase it. We want to know when history.
With the greatest of respect.
I respect you so much, Reverend. Reverend, if you could just indulge me, Reverend.
About prohibition or propagation of.
Reverend, if you could just listen to me, I'll be grateful.
They have granted exemption.
Reverend.
So whatever bill
Reverend.
that they have presented, whether how many people gavelled it, whether how many people said aye or how many people said no, we are saying that we are looking at the specific provision in clause 9, which is to deal with the real object, but
it's counterproductive. You said it's counterproductive. I think you made that point. Yes. But I'll ask you again. In 2036, 10 years from now, if I pick the parliamentary Hansard, I would want to know when this bill was passed in 2026, how the majority voted and how the minority voted. Did you abstain as a minority? Did you vote yes or aye? Or you walked out? What happened in the chamber today?
There was no walkout. Nobody walked out.
Did you vote aye?
There was no walkout. What we are saying is that
you haven't answered the question. So did you vote aye or nay?
No, please. We stayed on our feet. And this question that you are asking, I really doubt where you want to get at, because in any case, this is a government that has over 188 members.
Yes, and but the minority can still have your say. You call yourself a mighty minority.
So if you sponsor a bill,
Honorable, you see, for purposes of records, Reverend, respectfully, your house, Reverend,
draw the attention of Parliament that this particular clause defeats the entire thing we are doing for close to 1 hour, and you are ignored. Whatever you say at the end of the gavel, whether nay or nay, is inconsequential.
No,
they use their numbers.
But it will be seen on the records that you voted yes or no.
It's inconsequential.
Very well. Thank you.
The question is inconsequential.
Let's leave it here then. Thank you so much. That's Reverend John Ntimfojo. He's MPP Member of Parliament for Asin South and former Deputy Education Minister, who is also a co-sponsor of the anti-LGBTQI. Let's speak to the Leader of the House, the Boku Central Member of Parliament, the Honorable Mahama Yariga. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you, Moro.
Can you tell us, for the man listening to you in Boku, the importance of this bill that just went through Parliament?
Thank you very much. I believe we've all been in this country, and we know that our religious leaders, civil society groups, and all sort of advocacy groups have called on our country through its parliament to outlaw LGBTQ promotion and practice. What this bill, which has been passed today, is to outlaw any practice of LGBTQ in our country, and to also outlaw any promotion of LGBTQ in our country. So I will say that this is a very significant law that we are passing, or we have passed, and it is to respond to the general call of Ghanaians for a legislation to that effect.
Okay, how different is this bill going to be? Because this is not the first time your house is passing this bill, albeit it's a different parliament. You have passed this before. So what's going to be different about this particular bill's passage?
The previous parliament passed the bill, and when the clerk of parliament attempted to transmit the bill to the government of the NPP, led by Nano Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the secretary to the president then requested that the bill should not be transmitted to them for assent, claiming that there were matters in court, and until those matters were resolved, they didn't think that the bill should be transmitted to them. So the life of our parliament ended without they assenting to the bill. Then the debate was whether or not the new president should just assent to the bill or a new bill has to be passed. And the speaker ruled that a new bill has to be presented to the House, taken through the motions and passed. And so that is what we have done. And today we have passed it. And so the clerk will transmit this one to the current president, President John Dramani Mahama, and he has publicly indicated that the very moment we present it to him, he will give his assent. So I believe that the major difference is going to be the fact that this president will give his assent to the bill finally.
You have that assurance from the Jubilee House?
Well, I thought that the assurance given by the president has been public.
Yes, it has been. Now, the next question I would ask is what your colleague just spoke to me about, a co-sponsor of the bill. He said you watered down the bill before passing it and that the introduction of Clause 9 exempts everything relating to the promotion of anti-LGBTQI. So you make the act criminal and yet the promotion is saved. Can you explain why you did that?
That is absolutely untrue. And he was in the chamber, and he had even his own colleague MPP members, some disagreeing with him, because what happened was that when the bill was referred to the committee, during their deliberations, they considered one of the clauses, for two of the clauses in their bill. They presented it. And those two clauses are 9 and 10. And those two clauses, each of them is preceded by a subclause, one that says that subject to the Constitution, a person shall not produce, procure, market, broadcast, disseminate, publish, or distribute anything that relates to LGBTQ. And then 10 says that subject to the Constitution, a person shall not produce, procure, market, broadcast, disseminate, publish, or distribute anything relating to LGBTQ. So the committee then said, since you say subject to the Constitution, can we elaborate on which provisions of the Constitution you are subjecting this clause to? And then in their analysis, they identified provisions of the Constitution that they think will be violated if we do not clarify. So one, they said that if a lawyer provides legal services to any person accused of LGBTQ, that lawyer cannot be considered to be promoting, providing support, or procuring LGBTQ or advocating for LGBTQ. He is only providing legal services, and he will not be offending the act. The same way, if a person practicing LGBTQ goes to a hospital and a doctor provides medical services and etc., surgical services, counseling services to that person, the doctor cannot be accused of supporting or promoting LGBTQ. The same way, if Citi FM should, let's say, report on LGBTQ matters, or let's say GH1 should, cover some matters related to LGBTQ, by simply reporting as a media house or by covering and showing it on television, that media house should not be accused of promoting or supporting LGBTQ. Those were generally the kind of exemptions that the chairman of the committee presented to us as proposals coming from the committee. And these are proposals that even some of them, including the very intim forger who just spoke, who took a position that those matters could be taken as a matter of course because those are legitimate. But we insist that even though they are legitimate, because of the concerns of civil society, for instance, academics say, well, but when they do research on LGBTQ and then they publish their research, how can we accuse them of promoting LGBTQ? So those are the kind of things that because of those categories of civil society groups that is the media, the legal profession, medical doctors, and academics. We decided to make an exception to say that their work cannot amount to promoting or supporting LGBTQ. That is the only issue. That is the only issue. Nothing has been done. No changes have been made to the bill. It is a clarification of a provision that they, the sponsors of the bill, had. But of course, you can see that the NPP members have never wanted the NDC to be able to pass the bill for John Dramani Mahama to assent to it, so that it will be shown that the NPP during their tenure refused to assent to the bill. So even though they joined to sponsor the bill, if you really examine their conduct, it is obvious that they don't want the bill passed. They only want it available as a propaganda tool to keep, discussing and talking about. So when I indicated that I must have the bill passed within the next 2 weeks, and today I insisted that we should just pass it, they were doing everything in the chamber to obstruct the passage of the bill, and ultimately walked out and left just 2 of their members. That is the minority leader and the Honorable Jerry, and then they went out and they were organizing press conferences trying to misrepresent to Ghanaians that we watered down the bill so that President John Dramani Mahama can sign it, and that what was sent to President Akufo-Addo was not capable of being signed by any president.
When I spoke to Reverend Tim Fojo before you joined, I pressed him on how they voted when it came to it. He would not give me an answer. He said his answer of how they voted was inconsequential because they were just 1/3 of the House. You are the leader of the House. Did they, A, walk out, or B, vote with you, or C, vote against when the question was put?
When we started considering the bill, they were there. We went through all the clauses until clause 9. It was at clause 9 that they started raising all sort of objections, and we went through the whole process of debating clause 9, and the issues that they raised, we considered them one after the other, and it was obvious that even among them, there were MP members who thought that those recommendations from the committee were legitimate. They had some issues with some of the clauses. We agreed with them even on those clauses that they had issues with, and together we moved amendments to delete those clauses and finally left the clause 9 as proposed by the committee in a way that we thought was consistent with their own subjection of that clause to the Constitution. So up to that point, they were with us and voting. At one point, when the minority leader came in, we noticed that, he would turn and talk to them, and then they started leaving the chamber one after the other, and they all left, except he, the minority leader, and Honorable Jerry, and the 2 of them sat in. When we were voting, they didn't appear to be participating in the vote. If you look at the cameras, you will see that they did not participate in the vote after all their colleagues left the chamber until we passed the bill.
Okay, now that the bill has been passed and they say that it was a watered down version of the bill, what is the street meaning? So I have someone who has just sent me a question saying that, so if I am a girl and I dress like a boy, am I safe in this country? If I am a practitioner of LGBTQI+, am I safe in this country? What should I say to such a person? You are listening. The person is listening. Can you respond, please?
To change. That's the response I will give to that person. You will have to change. If you are a boy, you shouldn't be wearing the dresses of girls around town. What are you seeking to convey? And at the same time, if you know that you've been practicing LGBTQ in this country, with this bill having been passed today, immediately it is, assented to by the president, you will have to change.
So if you do not, you will be arrested. Have you dealt with mob action in the bill?
Mob action is seriously frowned upon in the bill, and indeed, it has very serious consequences. Anybody attacking, assaulting, lynching any person accused or suspected of practicing LGBTQ will be punished even more than the practitioners of LGBTQ.
Okay. Have you also considered the question that has been raised in the past in some circles about what would happen to us as a nation by the international community now that you have passed this bill, and that it would be interpreted to mean our country is hostile to minority rights, and to that effect, we would be frowned upon by lots of economies in the West?
I don't think that is an issue. I think the most important thing is for us as a people to be disciplined and manage our economy well. If we are disciplined, like we have in the last 1.5 years, and we manage our economy well, I can assure you that we will do very well. Somebody asked me today, have you considered whether foreign investors will come and invest in your country? And I said, foreign investors don't come to invest as an act of charity. Foreign investors come and invest in a mine because world gold prices have gone very high, and therefore if they invest, they will make a windfall. They will make money. So foreign investors go to places where they make money. There are foreign investors in Saudi Arabia. There are foreign investors in Dubai, UAE. Those countries don't in any way condone, accept, tolerate, LGBTQ practice. So foreign investors are not directed by these matters. They are directed by profit.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, the Honorable Mahama Ayariga, he's Boku Central Member of Parliament and Majority Leader in the House of Parliament. Now, let's speak to Most Reverend Matthew Jemfi. He's President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference. Most Reverend, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your news.
How is the church receiving the news of the passage of the bill against LGBTQI+.
Well, I just heard that Parliament has passed the bill. If Parliament has done so, as we have heard, then we should expect that the church, and not only the church, all the religious bodies in Ghana and many other Ghanaians who have advocated and have requested for this bill to be passed, we Christians, including Catholics, join them to say congratulations to Parliament for work well done. We receive it with great joy.
What would you say to critics who say we are going backwards and that this is being approved and agreed upon by many countries of the world, and that is just a matter of time before it comes to us, and that this singular decision of ours appears to be looking backwards when it is an inevitable act or thing?
Well, I do not know what they may mean by going backwards. We have our traditions. We have our cultures. It has never been accepted. And we just want Parliament to say that we do not accept these practices as part of our culture, part of our family life. Now, it is not all countries that accept this. And we join the number of countries who said no to this. There may be others who say yes. Where they got it from is up to them. But we do not want to take a culture and cultural practices that are alien, that do not help the Ghanaian society and community. So we are doing what we think Ghanaians believe is good for Ghana. And our is in line with our culture and our practices. Others may do whatever they want to do. Let me say, in some countries, they have legalized marijuana. Just a few years ago, it was illegal. Then they said they want to legalize this, and they did it. So if they have legalized same-sex relationships and marriage, it's good for them. But we are not compelled to do it because they do it. If it is good for them, let them do it. We are saying it is not good for us.
Now, the last question I have for you would have to do with, in the past, we saw an attempt to tie the passage of this bill or the non-passage of this bill to aid. Do you remember the UK Prime Minister who visited the late Professor Mills and the conversation that was had at the time, where he said that he was not going to accept aid tied to gay rights? There's a concern that this passage of the bill is going to lead to a tightening of aid and also investors into our country. Have you considered that, and how would we deal with that, sir?
You see, there is a whole ethics and whole philosophy even about aid that we receive from so-called donors. And even for us to think whether they are really aid, and if that aid really aids us. So probably if they remove the aid, we will become better. We may not need the aid that they give us. Aid that they give us with conditions attached, even conditions that are inimical to our interest. And if this is a unique, essential, existential interest to Ghana, then if they say, if you don't do this, as they have always been doing, if you don't go against your interest, we will not give you aid. Then we say, take your aid, and we can survive. That will even make Ghanaians sit up proper and be able to be self-sufficient and self-supporting in the main issues.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's Most Reverend Matthew Jemfi. He's president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. If you're just joining us, the House of Parliament has approved or passed the anti-LGBTQI bill. It will be transmitted to the president, and when the president signs it, it becomes law.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know that feeling when you're getting ready for work. Your shirt is still crumpled and the iron is just starting to warm up. Or you're late for the wedding and now about to blow dry your hair. Or you have just stocked up meat for the cold store and then suddenly, oh, light off. Life just keeps getting paused. But what if your roof, yes, your roof, could keep things running in your homes and businesses? With EcoBank ASAP, you can switch to solar now by getting a loan to buy solar power systems with no upfront cost and easy repayment. Power your life through EcoBank's vetted solar vendors and lower your power bills over time.
Take back your power with EcoBank ASAP. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Charlie, trim I'm nice. I get some serious meeting. Allah, motion. But Charlie, no credit today. Oh, but you relax. Momo day.
Hey, what funny.
Yes, so I borrow small, sort myself out, I pay back. We move. Spoil day. Ah, Charlie, you sure say you dey pay back? Yes, so that anytime somebody else they need them, Momo day. Be like I for can't borrow some more. Hey, you this boy. Don't go there and disgrace yourself. Allah, motion.
Responsible borrowing be the real flexo for today's needs and tomorrow's dreams. Borrow, sort them, pay back. Momo Day.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Jones Adboy in La sends a message and says, "Good evening, Umaru. This demonstrates the government's commitment to passing the bill. The minority should give us a break. They had all the time in the world to effect all the amendments they wished for. Now that the NDC government is on course to bring this to a close, they should shut their mouths. Please, I'm waiting for my share of the meat." Abba and Papa Abba. Jones Adboy, you want salam meat? It's 2 days after Eid. The meat would have decomposed by now. Conlan Nathaniel Bila from Jimbali in Yunyos in Naswan district says, good evening, Umaru. I thank the NDC government under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for passing this anti-LGBTQI plus bill. I'm well convinced that no member of the NDC will go to court in an attempt to block this bill from being transmitted to the president as happened in 2023. The anti-LGBTQI bill will surely be assented to by the President Mahama to become law in Ghana. Special regards to Honorable Suleiman Al-Hassan alias Jabless, MP for Nyonyo constituency. Zilis Dwayne in London says, I'm happy the Parliament of Ghana has passed the bill. Simple as that. The minority should give us a break. Prof. Intama says, everyone will begin to see these MPP guys for who they are, always looking for a way to cry over. This nation doesn't have much time to waste on them for the fruitless lamentations. 8 years already went wasted. We are tired. Prince Nuruddin Baumia in Boko says, the LGBTQ was one of the NDC's campaign messages during the 2024 elections. So failure to fulfill their promise is tantamount to embarrassment and taking Ghanaians for granted. William from Ejekojo says, good evening, Umaru. Please, as the honorable members, what significant assurance would it have as a nation? Because there were considerable laws they passed, but they are not working. Example is tricycles shouldn't apply. Okay, example is tricycles shouldn't ply our highways, but we see them always blocking traffic, even on the inner lanes. Well, Smiley sends a message. He says, how having a debate about it online? How about having a debate about it online? Let's say I support LGBTQI, but don't practice. But I don't think it's anybody's problem. Okay, he wants to know whether he will be punished or not. Akasokri Joseph says, I'm happy to see this day. I will be happier when JDM signs it into law. Long live NDC, long live Ghana, and long live the black race. Then let's see what the minority will say about it in their next press conference. I'm loving this. You can send your message to 0539-986-996. Let's return to Parliament, but on a different subject matter. The Ghanaians who have been repatriated from South Africa 2 days ago is still in the news, or still subject of news headlines. Now, there are new campaigns asking that we as Ghanaians punish South Africans in one way or another. One of the persons asking for this is the NPP Member of Parliament from Praiso in the Eastern region. His name is Davis Opoku-Ansah. His nickname is OPK, but he's popularly remembered as Let My Vote Count. Honorable, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Maro. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. You want people's votes to count in this South African matter. What is your campaign about?
Well, I think first of all, it has nothing to do with the Ghanaians who were brought back, and it basically has to do with supporting the local economy. And for me, getting to a point where we have all realized that we have what it takes to be involved in the industry. Some 30 years ago, we didn't have the requisite skills, we didn't have the know-how and everything. But now we have a whole university established by the state to train people in the mining sector. We have local companies who have the requisite skills and the capacity to be able to engage in that industry. For us, 30 years is enough. Just last year, Goldfields made over $547 million. Took this money to South Africa to develop South Africa. And today we've seen what the South Africans are doing to our very own. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, I was at the airport to meet some constituents who returned virtually empty-handed. They had to sell their goods at low prices for fear of being chased by these South Africans. And for me, it goes to affirm the point that we can develop our country. Let's build a South African society here in Ghana. And we can only do that when the state is determined to ensure that the $547 million that South Africa Goldfields made last year stays in our local economy, so that we don't go begging. We'll use these monies to build our roads. We'll use these monies to build the tourism industry. We'll use these monies to build the local economy, so that the Ghanaian people can get employed and get work to do. So that is the focus. And gladly, virtually everybody in this country agrees with the positions that we have taken. So far, we had over 100 people signing the petition we started this morning. We are hoping that by next week, we get some appreciable number. We are able to send a petition to the president to tell him that enough is enough. Let the gold belong to Ghanaians. I mean, we cannot rely on gold fields to be exploring or to be mining our gold and sending these golds to wherever they want to take it to. Profit stays in South Africa. It is used to develop South Africa, and they end up maltreating Ghanaians. For us, enough is enough.
So I'm surprised you are saying that it's not connected to the recent evacuation of Ghanaians, because that happened as a result of the xenophobic attacks. So you're saying that it is not because of the xenophobic attacks that you want us to...
There's been some spirited campaign that began several months ago. I mean, if you monitored my advocacy in that space, you would appreciate that I've always advocated for local people, participating in the mining sector.
So this is not exclusive to Goldfields or South Africa?
Last month...
Just a question. So if it's not exclusive to Goldfields and South Africa, would you then be asking for a non-renewal of leases by other mining companies outside the ones in South Africa?
Yes, tomorrow. Maybe you'd ask your reporters. Last month I was with the IEA, where the former Chief Justice and the former Speaker of Parliament joined hands to. They had a press conference telling the whole nation that we should not renew the lease for Goldfields, and it's backed by economy. It's backed by economic reasons, and the time has come that we develop our local economy. And if it's starting with the mining sector, so be it. Today we have over 300 Ghanaians, many stranded in South Africa, wanting to come to Ghana. We need to find a ways of establishing them in the various businesses that they do. Where are we going to get that money from?
Okay.
We can only rely on what God has given to us. Let's use that to develop our economy, create more jobs, so that these young ones do not go to South Africa and get more treated by people who are uneducated, people who are uncivilized, people who treat fellow Africans as if they are not humans. For me, that era must end. And you may want to link it because probably maybe it's fueled the level of engagement and why we need to do more to stop these old South African companies exploring us and using that to develop their country.
Thank you so much. Thank you for speaking to us. That's the Honorable Davis Opoku-Ansah, his MP from Price. So this Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, broadcasting from Accra and around the globe on citynewsroom.com. Around the nation, we are on a number of affiliate stations. Fafa has a list.
Well, in the Western region, we are Dreampa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takrade. In the Bono region, you can tune into Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyai, and in the Ashanti region, you can tune into Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM, both in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we are Revival 99.3 FM in Tajabu and VOV Radio 95.7 in Howe. In the northern region, you can listen to us on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM, and in the Upper East region, we are Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, Gungzang 90.1 FM in Tongo. In the Upper West region, tune into Tongson 97.3 FM in Wa, and in the Northeast region, we are Radio Jimbali 107.3 megahertz in Jimbali.
Thank you so much for listening to us across the country on all those platforms that we just advertised. Let's talk about some other stories now, Fafa.
Well, businessman and president of Group Indum, Dr. Papakwesi Indum, says the group is moving to resume operations in line with the court ruling that ordered the restoration of the operating license of GN Savings and Loans. He expressed confidence that nothing will obstruct the process, indicating that the legal team is fully prepared to ensure compliance with the court's directive. Dr. Indum was responding to reports that the Bank of Ghana has filed an appeal against the Court of Appeal's judgment on the license restoration.
law-abiding, and we believe in the rule of law, and we have orders. The orders that we have as I stand here are orders from the Court of Appeal, nowhere else. So as I stand here, Bank of Ghana itself has not even been served with what the lawyers call the consequential orders. They haven't been served yet. And then, again, as I stand here, I have not been served with anything that says somebody is appealing the matter. It may be true, it may not be true, but I cannot rely on word of mouth or what's on social media or what's on radio or television. But when we get anything at all from anybody, we are ready with our attorneys to deal with anything with dispatch until someone gives us an order different and also superior to what the Court of Appeal had given. We are moving. We're not waiting for anybody.
Well, Dr. Papakwesi Indum further stated that he remains committed to repositioning GN Savings and Loans into a fully fledged bank once again.
The tunnel vision is a focus. The focus is how we bring GN Savings back and then move on for it to become GN Bank again. That's all. It's nothing else. Nothing else that we're going to be doing. We are going to be disciplined in what we do. We are going to be working with the spirit that has strengthened us all these past several or so years. And we'll work positively. No negativity. Anybody saying anything negative anywhere, they are talking to the wind. We will not pay attention to it. We are focused. And we know that those who, regardless of politics, also want indigenous business to go ahead, they will march with us.
That was businessman and founder of Group Indum, Dr. Papakwesi Indum.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
It's a goal! The World Cup football fever is here, and Electroland Ghana Limited is bringing the excitement of the stadium right into your home with unbeatable soccer promotion. Experience every goal and celebration in clarity, just like you're live at the stadium with discounts on Samsung, TCL, and NASCO Smart TVs. Make every match day perfect for your football watch parties with powerful air conditioners and air coolers, top and bottom mount chest and display fridges, gas cooker, washing machines, microwaves, small kitchen appliances, and more. This is the biggest football promo of the year. Rush to our showrooms and authorized dealer shops or call 050-315-9739. Electroland, bringing the stadium home.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Je m'appelle.
Mappe. Et mappe. Hey, Asamo. French, you dear. This is a midi croissant.
Meet Aja. She makes sobolo in a small shop in Kaswa. She's going places with MTN Ejumapa. Now, she's learning French kakra to teach her francophone customers indigenous recipes.
Watashi no namae wa.
Watashi no na. My boy.
Whoa. She's learning Japanese too? Watash. What? If you're a woman with a small business, join MTN at Jumapa today by dialing *5060# and enjoy 150 megabytes data, a lifestyle bundle for social media, free MTN to MTN calls every Monday, and an insurance cover. You will also gain access to expert training, discounts on digital tools, and financial support to grow the business of your dreams. Terms and conditions apply. MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. City Business News. Be informed.
Time now for City Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Melody Fafa. Let's settle for the details now. The Ghana Insurers Association has emphasized the need for strict enforcement of mandatory marine insurance to protect businesses and customers involved in Ghana's import and export trade. According to the association, stronger enforcement of marine insurance regulations will help reduce financial losses and strengthen risk protection across the logistics value chain. President of the Ghana Insurers Association, Boatima Bafwe, made the remarks while speaking to the media on the sidelines of a marine insurance seminar in Accra.
Marine has always been a policy that Ghanaians have taken. There's been some focus on the suppliers insurers, but for Ghana we have the capacity, we have reinsurers who are also here supporting us. So we have the capacity, we have the knowledge, it's just for us to have the business to be able to exercise the capacity that we have. We need to secure our local people's markets because it's their products. There is no need for you to have a CIF and then the supplier takes all the premiums for a policy that you don't have a say in. So for us, it is important that we are securing local businesses and ensuring that we are dealing with local insurers who are here to help us to safeguard our customers as well. So I think it's important.
You heard Boatima Bafwe, president of the Ghana Insurers Association. Well, Managing Director of Sanlam Alliance General Insurance Ghana Limited, Mabel Nana Nyakwa Pobli, also reaffirmed the company's commitment to supporting the implementation of marine insurance policies in Ghana.
Sanlam has been ready forever. I mean, this is a company that has over 200 years of insurance. And as you know, the concept of insurance itself started with marine insurance in those olden days when people were losing, their trade. Ships were sinking. They found a way of pooling resources among all the traders to be able to help each other if these misfortunes happen. And that's when the concept of insurance happened. So for an insurance company that has 200 years and has presence in 26, 27 countries, we have the capacity. In fact, the session today is being handled by a marine expert within the Sanlam Alliance Group who's done marine management or marine insurance management for decades, and we are basically gleaning on his expertise and knowledge to bring that also into the market.
That was Mabel Nananya Kwapobli, Managing Director of Sanlam Alliance General Insurance Ghana Limited. Away from that, Finance Minister Dr. Samuel Attah-Mensah has signaled fresh legislative reforms for the Ghana Cocoa Board as government moves to restructure the cocoa sector to strengthen financial sustainability. The planned reforms come at a time when the IMF has intensified calls for structural changes at Cocoa Board to reduce operational costs and improve efficiency within the sector. Speaking at the Ismail Yamson and Associates Business Roundtable, Dr. Forson asserted that government is pursuing reforms to reposition Cocoa Board.
Cocoa Board need reforms. I do not believe in scrapping it, but I believe that we need to reform the Cocoa Board. Cocoa Board has served Ghana well. It has been a major source of foreign exchange earner. It has obviously suffered some mismanagement. It's a fact that we need to recognize. And government has taken a decision to reform Cocoa Board. I'll be going to Parliament in the next few weeks to introduce a new bill to Parliament reforming Cocoa Board and changing the structure of Cocoa Board. I want to do that in Parliament and we'll announce. But recently I did announce a number of changes in the Cocoa Board structure and how we buy and sell cocoa. For example, the bill will seek to make sure that at least 50% of our raw cocoa is processed locally. We've been shipping out our cocoa for too long, and so we want to stop that. And the bill will gradually ensure that within 3 to 4 years, 100% of our cocoa will be processed locally. But that will require investment. And so we will put the investment package also around it to attract the investment.
You are the Finance Minister, Dr. Samuel Attah-Mensah. Now, founder of Africa World Airlines, Togbe Akpabio the 14th, has cautioned chief executives against enriching themselves at the expense of the companies they manage. He warns that conflicts of interest undermine business growth and national development. Speaking as chairman of the 10th Ghana CEO Summit and Expo in Accra, Togbe Akpabio stressed the need for honesty, loyalty, and selflessness among corporate leaders as Ghana pushes for economic transformation and sustainable growth.
Other leadership attributes like selflessness, loyalty, and honesty are important. CEOs must have absolute commitment to the cause of the Ghanaians they lead and must endeavor never to vary a hair's breadth from the path of strictest honesty. CEOs must not endeavor or desire to enrich themselves at the expense of their companies. Whenever there is conflict of interest, the desired outcomes are never attainable. And this is very important. While we expect government to provide the soundest environment, and of course government is trying hard to do the same, we also must demonstrate unwavering commitment to the objectives of our companies and therefore for the purposes to which we are appointed.
Togbe Apede the 14th is founder of Africa World Airlines. Now, founder of the Ghana CEO Summit, Ernest de Graaf Ejio, underscored the need for a unified approach to private sector engagement with government, stressing the importance of a strengthened government CEO Compact 2026.
Last year, when the president addressed us in his closing remarks, he suggested that the Ghana CEO Summit should look at creating a compact that will be beneficial when it comes to engaging public and private sector. Ghana's private sector is fragmented. You speak the Minister of Trade, she's meeting Chamber of Commerce, she's meeting AGI, she's meeting Ghana, American. We are a lot. The question is, how do we organize the fronts of the private sector so that we can, as a unified council, engage the governments and, for that matter, cabinets? Mr. President, thank you so much for that great idea you gave us last year. Can we give it to the President? And that is a highlight of today's program.
The founder of the Ghana CEO Summit, Ernest de Graaf Ejio. Well, that's all for City Business News. On Eyewitness News, I am Melody Fafa. But if we're up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Hey, Charlie, these days there are Azan everywhere. And GCB Bank is on the alert to protect your money. So be vigilant. I should share my OTP with you. How can you tell me this story? Masa, one-time PIN will be group work, so don't share. Azan, they say share your PIN for them to help you. Azan, unknown link, bia, no click so pa. Bebre Azan, free ATM help, say. My friend, look sharp. GCB Bank will never ask for your PIN, OTP, or Ghana card details. Don't fall victim. Think before you click or send anything. Azan Boys Day Street. So DG, call 0800 422 422 toll free or WhatsApp 0202 422 422 when in doubt. Azan is brought to you by GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Electrical say you mean Nancy no ma you won every man focus so fake na begum. Yeah, it's am on motor cables and one no ma scan check the cables no or your Nexans cable metal one low smoke anti-counterfeit cables ni bia so nya bia muntoda e dey na ma we use sa cables na e ma ni dem sronko low smoke anti-counterfeit cables we me che there certificate cables anya papa wire dan na se jeto ma opu wusu pi toxic no me je no so huwa ono na say use low smoke anti-counterfeit cable la amagene nshiwo wusuka kribi no ba inti atriye bi to na gyadan numa ehwanyim low smoke anti-counterfeit cables ya etwa ehwo na hwa ebotu scan na check there so your original free Nexans cable metal low smoke anti-counterfeit cable ya sashe na ya jatu bi there only Ghana cable la okwa kwesi that
Nexans cable metal. Electricity no get leg. It be Nexans cable metal cable they carry up.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
The anti-LGBTQI bill has been passed by Parliament, but before the passage, there was a heated debate in the House. So I want us to listen to the final moments of that debate before the passage.
City News.
Bill. And in that bill, in the 8th Parliament, where I was majority leader, there were several discussions on certain amendments, and they insisted, Mr. Speaker, what they are doing now with this committee amendment is to dilute, Mr. Speaker. If I look at all the proposed clauses, Mr. Speaker, I must finish. This practice where the majority leader gets his say, and if it's a 10 of somebody, he will find a way of stopping.
Please listen to me. The position that you are stating has been canvassed in this
Mr. Speaker, I'm making my point.
It has been canvassed by
Mr.
the
Speaker,
House.
I will
go by the rules.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going by the rules.
Please, kindly resume your seat. Kindly. I'm using the word kindly.
Mr. Speaker.
Kindly resume your seat.
Mr. Speaker.
Kindly, with all due respect, kindly resume your seat. Yes, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I can never prevent you from saying what you want to say.
This is your style.
But you started with a statement that
and then expand from
whilst we were in opposition, that this side of the House passed a bill.
That's not fact.
That's not a fact.
Yes, you say you are speaking to facts.
That's not a fact. The bill was unanimously passed by this House. The bill was unanimously passed by this House at the time that you even claimed to be in the majority. You claimed to be in the majority at that time. And you are saying that we passed a bill. That we passed a bill. And that now we are in government, and then we have come and we are trying to water down a bill. Mr. Speaker, these are not facts. These are not facts. So what I can assure you is that as for Dylan can give his assent to it, to the glory of God.
Yes, you have the floor. Take on board his concern that the House passed the bill
Mr. Speaker, I want all of us to accord ourselves that respect. I can read a room. I should be allowed to make my point. Mr. Speaker, in all humility, I can read a room. I am making my point. And I would act within the laws. I shouldn't be instructed. Mr. Speaker, I am submitting that the bill that the sponsors have proposed with this so-called amendment by the committee, Mr. Speaker, our friends who are in government today oppose every amendment
Honorable Minority
in the
Leader.
8th Parliament.
Honorable
today,
Minority Leader.
they want to pass a bill.
Minority Leader, you cannot refer to a proposed amendment from a committee of this House as so-called.
Mr. Speaker,
you know that is not proper.
Mr. Speaker, anytime I talk, you interrupt. Even when the majority leader gets it wrong,
if you use a language that is not proper, I will have to draw your attention to it.
Mr. Speaker, the majority leader used lawlessness.
I will continue to draw your attention to it. You cannot refer to a proposed amendment emanating from a committee of this House as so-called.
Mr. Speaker, that's fine. I take guidance from you. That's fine. Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the attempt by the committee of this House to use amendment to water down the very bill that our friends, when they were in opposition, pushed it on the country. Mr. Speaker, that was their argument. And where is the principle? Mr. Speaker, where is their principle? They sponsored the bill. May I finish? You see, Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is not a Democrat. Sit down. I listen to you in silence. So you sit down. Mr. Speaker, when they were in opposition, they sponsored the bill. They resisted every single amendment. Mr. Speaker, today, they are now saying that through a committee, they are amending, Mr. Speaker, the clause 9, the very amendment they rejected in opposition. Today that they are in government, they are claiming that this is the bill they want. Mr. Speaker, they are virtually rendering the very thing they propose odious. Mr. Speaker, the very thing that day, and Ghanaians, the people of Ghana can see through the double standard, the lack of principle. And I'm putting it to you, Majority Leader, that your side lack principle. Your side lack principle, and that is a political statement coming from this side of the House to me. How can you, the very law that you wanted signed today, when it's your turn, you are amending, so you know that you can take away all these clauses? Where is Sam George? Where is Sam George? Where is Sam George? This is political double standard, lack of principle, and now you want to water it down. So you don't want it. And you want to claim you want to pass it. You are passing no law. We can read through your double standard, Majority Leader. That is why I came back into the chamber to deal with your double standard. You want to intimidate Honorable Ntim Fodjo, virtually render his proposal odious. That's what you're doing. And then you say when you finish, you send it to the president to sign for the media. You pass LGBT. When you know you pass no law, you want to confuse us like you did on the e-levy, like you are doing on Doomso and everything. Mr. Speaker, we can read the room.
Honorable Minority Leader, are you done?
Yes, I am not done. I'm making my argument. If you want to call him, you can call him.
Let me hear
when he gets to his mischief, he start giving some smarts. Let us see your smart, your mischief smart.
Honorable
or this time
Majority Leader, let me hear
you. We can read you, Majority Leader.
Minority Leader, why are you doing this?
To him, not to you. To him. Mr. Speaker, to him. He does it to me. To him. Not to you.
Why? You can't do this.
He intimidated my colleagues.
You address the chair.
Mr. Speaker.
That is the modality. Is that not the modality?
I am responding to the majority.
But you address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, I'm addressing.
Is that also?
He's been intimidating my side.
Is that also?
I was away.
Please,
so
you have the floor.
To face him.
Minority Leader, kindly resume your seat.
Well, Mr. Speaker. I'm back to face him.
Thank you.
With his mischief. You say you are passing a law. Which law?
Mr. Speaker, the minority leader will always look for an opportunity to make the headline news
on a
Friday. I mean, he wants Citi FM to play this voice this evening to create the impression that something has happened. Something untoward has happened. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised that the members on the NPP side
who are calling for immediate,
who were pushing that this bill must be passed, today are doing everything possible to frustrate the passing of this bill. Mr. Speaker, the committee is a committee of this House. The committee is a committee of this House. In fact, in your absence, a member of the committee who belongs to your side got up and supported the proposals. He had just a few exceptions. He got up here and then supported the amendments. He said the amendments make sense. He supports it because the amendment is seeking to protect the freedom of lawyers to provide legal representation and the right of accused persons to get legal representation. The freedom of media houses to practice and report. The freedom of doctors to provide medical services irrespective of the circumstances under which you needed the medical services. Those are the clauses that we are discussing. So when you run into the chamber, you can argue, you can look at the clauses. If you have opposition, some of us have had opposition to some of the clauses. We've moved for deletion and it's been deleted. But this your attitude of coming in and shouting left and right as if we're engaged in a shouting match doesn't help. Doesn't help. Nobody in this country will be deceived. As for the last election, you lost it. You cannot cure your loss of the last election by any kind of gimmicks in this chamber. It will not help. You had an excellent opportunity. We proposed the bill. Reverend Ntim Forger and co, your members, joined and sponsored the bill. And when we debated the bill, nobody in this house,
was the leader of the house.
Nobody in this house under your leadership opposed it. The day we were voting on it, we voted on it unanimously. Mr. Speaker, you were not opposing anything. You went and brought the same bill back. You changed the clauses. You appended your signature as a sponsor to the bill. It was referred to the committee. As for watering it down, this is a proposal coming from the committee. You are free to argue for or against it. If you are against it, we'll put it to a vote. If you are for it, we'll put it to a vote. At the end of the day, the basic question is, if a person accused of LGBTQ is put before the courts, should that person have a right to a lawyer? That's the basic question. The basic question is, if a person accused of LGBTQ goes to the courts, goes to a hospital, should the person be denied medical services?